Ooh, okay. Well, we made it. Late, but we made it. It's why I say ish. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean that as a placeholder for a swear. Not a curse. No, 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 not a swearing. Not a profanity. I mean, as a swear. Not as a swear. Ish. Which means like ish. You know? You know what I'm saying? Alright, are my lurks current? Freaking no. Of course they're not. Okay, we pull in that tab, we pull in that tab. Everybody ending and everybody beginning. It's crazy. There's so many. It's kinda nuts. I'm not gonna lie. Gotta get them lurk works. Gotta take care of our people. Okay. I think that's a pretty good spread of who all we got pulled. No, it's not. Damn, look how many of you went live. What the heck? Why they so many of you? Why the blazes? Hello, police? Okay. Several tabs. Several tabs are not current. Ridiculous. I gotta do something about that. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Gotta pull up our people. Gotta pull up our people. Okay. We got you. We got you. We got you. Oh, by word. There's so many of you. There's so many of you. Okay, I think we're there. Jeepers. Took a minute, but we arrived. Greetings. Salutations all. How the devil are we? How you guys doing? His stuff, his things. How's your weekend's eve? Find you? Here. Priest throwing a party? Is he? When the room. Wow, that's crazy. Priest throwing a party? That's wild. I love that. That's great. What kind of party is it? A costume party? I don't want to go. If it's any other kind of party, it's still a coin toss, but I don't want to go to a costume party. I'm much too self-serious for costumes. Not that I was invited, but you know what I'm saying? We're talking party. Greetings, salutations all. It's good to see you guys, and I hope that you all well. I hope that the time zones are indeed being kind to you, and that your Friday is not so stinking bad. I hope that it's okay for us here. Hi, Mel. It's good to have you in. I see a disappointment pack right out of the gate. That's crazy. Lucy, it's good to see you again, Lucy. Oh, Lucy. I like it. I like it. You got some explaining to do. Okay. Got it on the ledger. Madame. Clackety clack. Okay, let me see here. Let me just check. Those things are indeed working. Microphone's working. Music is on. Okay. I think everything's in place. I think we've arrived. It's very good. Very good indeed. Tabs refreshed. Fleas, the office chair. Fleas! For her back, you guys. Very important for her back. Hi, Duckling. Hello, hello. It's good to see you. You changed your name. You changed your name in Rumble. Just to keep me on my toes, huh? Alright. I get you. And Doc is here. There's the good doctor. Thank you for calling out, Mel. Hiya, Doc. Whoa. I'm confusion. Is this imposter duckling? See? It's crazy. It's, deleted old account because it wouldn't let me do premium. That's, weird. I don't know why I was behaving weird. That's one of us. Wait, did you do premium? There's no alert. It doesn't tell me. That's something I don't even know. That's crazy. If any of you ever sign up for premium, let me know so I can gush about you and be like, oh my gosh, thank you. That's what I want to do. So, thank you. No, thank you. Oh my, that's, Actually insane. Oh, Blinker Fluid. Guts. Hiya, Guts. It's good to see you. Blinker Fluid. What? I don't know. I don't know, actually. Apex Pack is on cooldown. I don't know why the Blinker Fluid wouldn't have worked. I'm not gonna lie. You might be out of points. You might be out of points. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know about it. I don't know. Guts, how would you like the thing yesterday? Was it fun? You got to talk about so much of your favorite music for so heckin' long. Did you guys win your first match? Is that what I saw? Did you guys win your first match of Fork Knife, Guts? Is that how that went down? I don't know. You got to talk about all of the music and all of the things and metaphors with owls and snakes? I can't remember what the other animal was. I'm sorry. I had a bird joke in there, and I just... Listen, my brain is cooked, you guys. We do be cooked. It's been a long couple days. No swearing her. Nope, no swearing, you guys. Keep it together. No swearing. Don't do it. Oh, my gosh. Oh, wow, I can't give you Blinker Fluid. That's true. Gotta get them points up. Gotta get them points up, baby. Pre-game party on Rumble. There do be a party. It's pretty great. A pre-game party. Ah, I like it. I like it. It's very good. Less aggressive pinstripes. Very nice. Yeah, well, they're still pretty aggressive. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't worn this suit in a very long time, you guys. It's got all sorts of problems with it. But fortunately, you can't see most of them. So, I get to wear it here and here alone. Yeah, I don't get to wear this suit very... Oh, Wild's not here yet. Ah, yeah, that's the one. Saw you lurking yesterday in that stream I did. Thank you for being there. Meant a lot. I hope that you had a good time. I've been terribly busy, and I'm sorry I didn't get to bother anybody the last couple days. I never get to talk to people on Thursdays. Okay? People, never. On Thursdays, I don't even get to say, like, lurk work. Thursdays, head down, working, doing stuff and things. So, hope you had a good time. Missed that the first time. Wow. We did win our first match. Won like 5 matches in a row. Owl and Eagle. Thank you. That was the one. Fantastic time. Hope you enjoyed my choices. I didn't get to listen to all of it, Guts. Most of it was muted. Full disclosure, most of it was muted. So, go on. Hello, go on. It's finally summer. Oh my God. Yeah, but see, the thing is, then the heat. You know what I'm saying? Go on. And I'm not about it. I'm not about it. Yesterday, warm. Today, warm. Actually, last night it kind of rained a bunch, which was really nice. So maybe you guys got that rain today, actually. Maybe that made its way over your direction, but I don't know. Today, warm. Next day, warm. Next day, warm. And then, the next handful of days, we're actually going to get some cool weather, which is pretty great, and I'm very excited for it. Very excited for the cold I want. It's okay, Gus. I'll bill you later for the added time stuck to my work chair. Yeah. That's right. For the time in that chair. The time in the chair. Plot twist. There's no back to the jacket. Listen. Caleb! Hiya, Caleb. It's good to see you. Hello. Someone gave me keys. Really? For what I think we're talking about? Sick. It's exciting. I'm excited to hear about it. Caleb. I'll happily share the playlist with you if you're interested, if I haven't already done so. You may have, I don't know. I don't recall all of the music you've shared off the top of my head, Guts. Because it's a lot. 98 yesterday, 60 today? Gross. Well, I mean, I'll take the 60, that's great, but 98? Gross. That's awful. I'm sorry, that's lousy, Mel. 60 today, though, that's fabulous. Good for you, Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco. Yup. That's crazy, Caleb. That's crazy. Congratulations, then, I think. I mean, if I'm understanding correctly, their congratulations are in order. Interesting stuff happening, then. Change of seasons and all of that, in a metaphorical sense and in a literal sense. Yeah, that's something. That's something. Luce, hiya, Luce. How are you? Summer heat is awful. Actual facts. You've caught us talking about the weather. That's what you've done. Luce, it's good to see you. Welcome on in. Welcome. Hope that your Friday is treating you guys okay. Hope that Weekend's Eve finds you well. The first album, which you're referring to, band wrote a fairy tale and they wrote a concept album. Yeah, I remember you explaining it. You said they wrote a fairy tale. It's a metaphor. There's the allegorical animals, and they are like, and then they use first one is like regret. It's the owl's regret. And then it was like the album progresses through the story. I remember. I own for just the parts that I saw. Listen. For just the parts that I saw. Very low bar. I'm not hashtag deadbeat friend. Did not memorize everything. I'm sorry. But I'm glad that you had a good time, guys. That's pretty cool. Pretty darned cool. A year of points. A lot of points. Nice and windy up here to the northern, in the northern hat. Dang, I'll take the wind. I mean, we got wind here all the time, but yeah. I'll probably be able to open up as soon as stream's over, because it'll probably be cooled down by then. But for right now, a bit toasty. I'm not gonna lie. Just a little bit toasty. A little bit. I'm in full ooze. Oh, coz. I'm like, full ooze? What does that mean? Full coz. For the first time till winter. Oh, for the last time till winter. Yeah, probably. Wear the fuzzy socks while you can. You know what I'm saying? Wear the fuzzy socks while you can, Mel. Good to be here. Friday's been good so far. Good. I hope I can add to it, you guys. I hope I can be a value add to your Fridays. To Ian Freitag. Yes, indeed. I think you would probably really enjoy that album. Oh, interesting. Very well. Mouse! Hello! It's good to see you. Thank you for calling on Mouse Guts. Also, fit check. Rude. Fit check ain't great. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, just a quick up down though. We ain't finna pedestrian it all over the joint. My hair's a mess. I'm sweating because it's hot. So no, I'm not finna like be doing cartwheels over here or yoga poses, okay? Crazy. Ow! Ooh, we hated that. Ooh, no, we hated that. Okay. We did enough stretching the last couple days. Thank you. My legs are tired. My tuchus, my glutes are sore. Gotta keep the tuchus looking good for the hot bride, you know what I'm saying? Mouse, I'm glad to have you in. Welcome. Oh, there's hot bride. Speaking of the hot bride. Hi, babe. Hello. It's good to see you. Thank you both for calling out Mouse. Hell yeah, double call out for Mouse. Hell yeah, Kitty. Hiya, Kitty. Welcome back. Not sick of me yet, huh? That's crazy. You're like, maybe I'll come back. Maybe. For the serious, no less. For the seriousness. I'm glad to see you, new friend. Gang, you guys all remember Kitty? You all remember Kitty from the other day? We got to meet Kitty on Tuesday, innit? Whilst doing silliness, no less. So here for the seriousness. Something. That is indeed something. Good to have you. Please do not have a stroke. We need to finish this series. This series is going to take a minute. Just saying. I blame the camera not liking pinstripes for the fit check not looking the best. Yeah, I like the camera not liking the pinstripes. I like trolling the camera. It's, you know, some people are like, I'm sticking it to AI, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I've been fighting the clinkers since long before anybody misused the term AI, alright? Like, look, that parallax business, this is supposed to be like one of the best cameras you can get. And it can't handle that parallax, like, goodness on the pinstripes. Nah, screw you, camera. Get better or get bent. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm about sticking it to the tin skins. We're doing it, Peter. We're doing it. Ash! Hiya, Ash. It's good to see you, sir. Welcome in. How you doing? How's you? How's yours? Still in the throes of all of the madness of moves and planning and everything else, I assume. It's good to have you. Glad that you're here for this thing, a most auspicious night. Tonight's a big one, you guys. Tonight we are continuing with singleness. This is the Relationships Masterclass. If you guys are not here, or have not been here before, if you're not here, you're not hearing me, stupid. If you're new around here, and I have not yet had the pleasure of making y'all's acquaintance, hello. My name is Gus, or Godfather, my Marine Corps call sign. Hey, you. I respond to the guy with a tie. It doesn't have to rhyme, but if you'd like it to rhyme, it can rhyme. I'm a Friday streamer. I get up to a variety of things. It's right there in the name. I presently stream on Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, but twice on Saturdays now. All 5 p.m. Pacific time, and then Saturdays, including tomorrow morning. Yeah, some of you live in the future. You're like, it's already Saturday. Pacific time. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time, I will have a 90-minute just chatting stream. That's where I get to talk to you guys proper like, actually get to hear what the heck's going on in your world, chit-chat, shoot the breeze about whatever the heck you want, and all that. So yeah, that's our dedicated time, so I get to catch more of you, sort of like in the waking hours, because right now a lot of Oyerope is asleep. So yeah, the morrow I get to catch up with you guys proper like, at least for a little bit. And then tomorrow evening I will be playing Minecraft, at least that's the plan. I'll be playing Minecraft, not Vinecraft, don't get it twisted. This one's mine, it's hashtag BYOC, bring your own craft. And yeah, that's tomorrow. And then next Saturday, be kicking off a brand new game as voted on by the patrons. So I hope to see you guys there for that. And then yeah, that's some of the goodness that's going on. But tonight, Friday nights are purposed with what we call Gus Talks. Gus Talks are our more serious foray into life's evergreen sorts of things, okay? And that's some serious business indeed. I don't talk about like current events and stuff like that because that's not evergreen. Often, unless it somehow directly is pertinent to what I'm talking about. I'm trying to speak to the things that will continue to last beyond just this day or this week. So, tonight is a continuation of a series we are in called the Relationships Masterclass. This is something I kicked off a handful of weeks ago now, and we're going through singleness all the way up until marriage, putting a ring on it. So, all the mess in between, all the questions you guys have. Thank you to everybody who has submitted questions. For those of you who have not yet done so and you have an interest in doing it, you can submit questions, relationship-related, specifically, or relationship-adjacent questions, totally anonymously. I have a form thing that you just literally write up your question. There's no, like, who are you? There's no email. There's no nothing. You don't have to have an account. There's nothing. It's totally anonymous, okay? You type in whatever it is, it goes into a form. I can't see who it is. It's not a public form that anyone else can see in any case, but I also can't, like, see who it is. So, as long as you don't put any, like, personal identifiers in there, hey, it's me! Which at least one of you has done, which is hilarious. Nobody knows who it is, okay? And what I'm going to do is at the close of each season, so singleness, dating, engaged, married, I'm going to answer those questions as they pertain to that season, okay? So the singleness sorts of questions I will tackle either in the course of talking about singleness or in a dedicated talk at the end of that, okay? And I will get to address those questions specifically. And then same thing for the dating and the marriage and all the rest, okay? So if you have not submitted those questions, there it is right there. Thank you, Mel, for dropping links. All of you guys dropping links. I appreciate all of you guys who are always dropping links. There it is. You take that thing. That'll take you to the totally anonymous questionnaire. You can submit as many questions as you like. You just, like, click it again and do a new question, okay? I am stacking those questions. And, yeah, the ones that I am not specifically addressing as a matter of course, like in due course of just teaching, I will be addressing specifically. I'll obviously remove identifiers. I will be combining like questions and so forth. So it'll be vague enough that it'll answer your guys' questions, but I won't be like calling out your specific circumstance. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to do this like intuiting well. I'm going to try to do this thing intelligently and wisely to honor and respect you guys. Crazy notion, I know. It's called Read the Room, and I'm going to do my best, you guys, because you deserve my attempt at that. You deserve my attempt. So, yes, tonight is a continuation of singleness. And it's an important one. It is an important one. Before we get into that, I'd be remiss if I did not point out that there are fabulous humans who made all of this possible, okay? I don't get to do any of this, the silly or the serious, any of that stuff in between, without the folks who have sacrificed to make it happen. The people who have parted with their hard-won dollars, $5 a month, taken it, the reason we're here. The reason I've been able to do this for a couple years now, and a reason that I hopefully will be able to keep doing it in the future. So thank you guys. I don't take it for granted at all, your guys' sacrificing that way. And in particular, I'm in a debt of gratitude to the public patrons. These are the folks who have gone above and beyond that $5 a month commitment, whether it's through Rumble, Coffee, Patreon. Any good that comes from this project can be traced right back to them. And those are Aki, Leanne, Gail, Goose, Kira, Abby, Tink, Helly, May, Karma, Pencil, Pre, Retro, Rick, Ryan, Mouse, Trotsky, Pell, CJ number 1, and Zim. Thank you guys. It means an awful heckin' lot. Now, If you're not familiar with Friday nights, you might not know that there are components what comprise an ideal talk. Don't always get to partake of all of them, but it is my wont to try for those that I am able. All right, so the first of which is good drink. Good drink. Now, tonight I'm having a campfire. Despite the heat and the irony in it, I'm going to be having a campfire because it sounds very nice, very comforting, very cozy. And it's a bit on brand. It's a bit on brand. Not totally, but anyway, okay. I'll be having a campfire tonight. Now, I'm choking on nothing. Choking on nothing. Absolutely feral. Absolutely feral. Unhinged, ridiculous. All right. Let me know in chat what it is you are partaking of for a good drink. It needn't be alcoholic, as mine will be. It could be coffee, it could be tea, it could be good old H2O if you're British. And you want to say H? Yeah, you guys get a little bit of bottle asthma. As threatened. A little bit of asthma around here on Fridays. Little bit. Little bit. There it is. Ready? But just a bit. Just a little thump. That's all we got for you guys. All right. We're going to pour a little more. Yes, that's a good. That's a good. All right. If you are not yet aware, I multi-stream, you guys. I'm on Rumble, Twitch, YouTube. We have a lovely Discord, the hub of all that we get up to as a community. All that business, from the silly to the serious, it all takes place in there. And yeah, if you guys have the PC, if you have a rig that can do so, I'd be especially grateful if you guys could pull up multiple tabs. Pull one up for Rumble, pull one up for Twitch, pull one up for YouTube if you're feeling really fancy about the whole thing. I'd be grateful indeed, you guys. Gets us in front of more eyeballs, keeps this project alive. A free way that you guys can support this thing. That is a vote of confidence I don't take lightly at all, because I understand what a pain in the quiche it is to pull open multiple tabs, especially with different platforms, like the YouTube one behaves weird sometimes. Thank you guys for subjecting yourselves to the discomfort and the the pain in the ass for the benefit of all here. Thank you. Means an awful heck of a lot. And lastly, we've got our component number 1, good drink. Don't get to have component number 2, cigar. But finally, good company is component number 3. Dear God, good company. This is where each week I come empty-handed, dear friends. This is where I'm lost without you. Can't do it without you. And so I'm grateful. Grateful that you guys would be here. It's Friday night. Of all the places you could be, of all the things you could be doing, spending your time, of all that you could be getting up to tonight, the fact that you've chosen to spend your night here says a great deal about the caliber of you. The person who would choose hard mode, who would choose difficulty, who would walk into something like this of their own volition. It says a great deal about you. And it's to that quality, that caliber of human, to whom I get to raise my first glass. That good company, that very same good company, to you. Cheers. It's tasty. It's tasty. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay. It is my want during these to try to keep them a little shorter, a little sweeter. That said, I'm going to try and talk somewhat fast tonight. And at sort of the last minute in the 11th hour, I sort of may or may not have definitely cut the talk in half. Like literally an hour ago. Less than an hour ago. I'm like, this is too long. It was going to be 2 hours again. Had to cut it. Could have done it. Could have wrapped it up tonight. But it would have been too long. So, I chopped it. Sorry. I'm sorry. We'll see. We'll see how fast I can talk tonight. Okay, that's all I can. We'll see how fast I can talk. We're gonna see how this goes. Okay, so let me see. Can I catch up? Is it possible to catch up on chat? Is that a thing that can happen? I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna go. PC rumble faster on mobile, slightly slower. I don't know. Just tell ya. I don't know. I don't know. Check Gus's batteries. I'm getting concerned. Whack. Am I Robo? I think I lurk now. Yeets bandwidth and general direction. I appreciate the lurk. Means an awful leckin' lot. Awful leckin' lot. Lurking for dinner with the hubby. Have a good dinner. Please check your self-promo channel real quick like. Oh my gosh. What? That is terrifying and I hate it. Yikes. Gross. That is... Eee. Also, Whoa, Kitty, did you join the Discord? Wait a tick. Did you join? Wow. Gang. Kitty joined the Mafia. That is no small to-do, okay? That is a big deal. That is... It takes a... Speaking of the caliber of human I'm fortunate to be surrounded by, it's not a small thing to get in on this life. To choose hard mode. I didn't get to warn you, though. The Mafia is a welcoming sort, and they tend to show that welcome via stickers, so expect your notifications to blow up for a week or 3 as people see that you've made your way in, because they recognize. Like recognizes like, you know? Game recognizes game. That's not a small thing, so be prepared. Be prepared. Like the Lion King. Like the Lion King. Was that a threat? No. Be prepared. No, that's not a threat in the song, right? Okay. Anyways, glad to have you in. Welcome to the life. Well, Cinder! It's good to see you, Cinder. Welcome. Hope that the week treated you kindly, and that it's rounding out okay, and that I can add to that in some meaningful sense. We will yet see. We will yet see. Wait, where's Aki? Where's Aki? What? I don't see Aki. We're calling out Aki? Where is Aki? Is he being sneaky, or am I blind? What? I don't know. Sim! It's good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Forg, same thing. Glad to have you guys. Glad to see you. Don't forget Rumble raids as well. Thank you. Yes, I will be shutting things down. Next thing I was going to say is I'm going to be locking some stuff down now, you guys. Before we go into the seriousness, it is my want to disable raids. Whether those be on Rumble or on Twitch. And so, yes, I will be disabling those. I'm very grateful to everybody who wishes to raid. That is not something that is conducive to the seriousness of our talks on Friday nights. So, as much as I am grateful for those things, it's very incongruous. The hype of a raid is very jarring often with the seriousness that we get up to and some of the depths that we will be visiting. And so, to avoid that grinding of gears, yeah, I disable raids on Friday nights. So it's also going to be a much shorter stream as I try to make this material a little more condensed for you guys' benefit, so it's something you can chew on in a reasonable amount, to not have the thing be 4 hours of lecture material. Though I certainly could hold forth for that long, as all of the veterans of this channel surely know and are traumatized by. So, yep, that's... It's New Kitty now. Alright, New Kitty. Alright, I got you. Glad to have you in, New Kitty. P-Dub, joke's on you. I'm not doing relationships. Well, joke's on you, P-Dub. We're doing singleness. That's right. The purpose of tonight is singleness. So, P-Dub, you're right where you need to be, friendo. I don't do relationships. Checkmate. Yes, gang, we are doing singleness. The season of relationships. The first of which is singleness. We're each born into this, and that season will last different durations for everybody. Some it will be forever. Others longer, some shorter. But singleness is something that we all begin in. And I've spent the last several weeks establishing the import of that season. Okay? Import of that season. And what we're to do with it. And that is what tonight is purposed with. Continuation of that thought. Continuation of what it is we're to do with this singleness. Okay? I hope that at this point in the series, you've listened to a bit of what the heck singleness is for. Hope you've been convinced of its import up till this point, and I've got a little bit more to say on that front tonight that I think will be of benefit. So, we're going to be jumping in. Aki's in the greetings channel. Oh, Fierce's coming this way next, and he failed me. Dang, that's crazy, Mel. That's crazy. Top 5 worldwide in singleness. Forever, gang. Just saying, P-Dub. You're in the right place, then. In the right place. Gotta be good on your own before being good in a relationship. So I've heard. I'm behind on the lectures. You've heard. Mouse has been around for a while, you guys. I'm something of a broken record when I talk about these things. So the veterans of this community have heard me say quite a bit of this. Not all. Not all. But this is the most requested series that for me to do during the lectures, during the Gus Talks, over the years. And this has been years in the making, preparing all of this. So yes, it's meant to be comprehensive. I have heard countless classes and courses and the books and everything, and there's so many treatments that are given to relationships, and almost all of them are just like, yeah, but okay, I got the pivy a little bit, all right, I got something to think about, but they're not exhaustive, and I think that's by design. I want this to be exhaustive. Will it be? No. There will always be more to say about these things, but I do want it to be exhaustive, comprehensive, in the sense that it answers all of the major questions about it. Will there be little like things here and there, flavor sorts of questions for specific circumstances? Of course there will be. But I want to cover all of the major business so that there are no questions that you have left when you're looking at something like singleness or dating or engagement or marriage or any of the like types, seasons of relationships that we find ourselves in. I don't want you guys puzzled. I don't want you leaving these things wondering if you're doing it right. I want that to be definitive. That's not a feeling. That's data. We've got empirical data and all the rest to back those things up. So that's what all of this is based in, is what works, what actually works, what all of this is actually for. And so yes, in that regard, I want this to be comprehensive. I want you guys to each be equipped, no matter which season you are in. And not just which season you are in, but what season those in your life are in. Whether you've got children who are, single, but will be going into the world of figuring out dating and courting and all the rest of that jazz, okay? Whether it's family members, friends, co-workers, colleagues, okay? Like, we know people who are in different seasons than us. And if we are to be of benefit to them in any way, and tonight I'll be talking about that explicitly, we need to know a bit about this sort of thing. We need to know about the seasons. You got to know about singleness because it's the foundation for all else, and because it will be of benefit to all the rest of the people in your life, even if you yourself are not single. So it's critical that we understand singleness. Tonight will be a continuation of that. And I hope you guys do take this stuff seriously. You're welcome to take notes. I'm trying to pace things in such a way that note-taking is possible. Between stories and examples and stuff and actual like points, like takeaways, like pivy little, put this in your brain and carry it around forever sort of things. So we're going to be getting to all of that. We're going to be getting to all of it. Solo leveling. Yeah. Solo leveling, that's right. Mocha! It's good to see you, Mocha. It's been a minute. I hope that you're well. I hope that, what are we in May now? I hope May's been kind. I hope April was kind to you. Welcome back, Mocha. All right. I'm going to be holding forth for a stretch, gang. This is where I do the thing. This is where I do the thing where I don't see chat. Raids are disabled, and I'm not going to be able to see chat. All right? There's quite a lot for me to say and do, and I'm going to try to stay on task and stay on target. That is the plan. The plan is for me to have hopefully well enough articulated my thoughts and put pen to paper in so doing, such that I can actually stick to a schedule and not just meander off and chase into the tall weeds as I am typically wont to do. So I've put the pen to paper and I've got all my thoughts written down, and I'm going to try and breeze through it in an easy manner that's helpful to you. That's the plan. Joey, welcome in. Thank you for the kind words. Means an awful lot. Just trying to dress in a manner worthy of you. Just trying to dress in a manner worthy of you. Each of you are worth getting dressed up for. Even if it's hot outside. Or inside. Plain and simple. Welcome. Welcome. Alright. So.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Joey, thank you. That's no small thing. I take follows quite seriously, as I know many of you do too. I aim to earn it, between the silly and the serious and everything in between. I aim to earn it. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. That's a yummy pour. That's a yummy pour. Alright. Here's where I miss chat. Grateful to all of you who perhaps welcome in our new joins, answer questions, point people in the direction of resources, drop links, all that jazz. Because I won't be able to see chat anymore. Got to welcome in Joey, which 10 out of 10. And now we'll begin on some seriousness. So timestamp us. The Relationships Masterclass. Singleness Part 3. Well, as many of you know, for a very long time, I was in the Marines. Okay? Spent a career in the Marine Corps. Spent a lifetime in the military. And I'm a grunt. Okay, for those of you not familiar with the jargon, the lingo of such things, that's infantry. Okay, that's infantry. And so I was doing the... Oh my gosh. Is this the... I swear... Killing me Smalls. Now, there's a banner. Feral. Tib, What manner of mischief is this man's up to? What did he do? My best advice for relationships, : oh boy. Be kinder than the moment asks. Pause before you punish. Ask before you assume. Apologize without a defense. And remember, you are teammates first, even when pride, stress, or hurt tries to turn love into a contest today. And here I was expecting a dad joke, Sir Tib. And here I was expecting a dad joke. Thank you for the tip, sir. Both for the counsel and for the tip of the thing. I will steward the resources as well as I am able, my friend. I'm glad indeed to have you here, and for your advice. Tim's been wrestling with relationships for a minute, you guys. He knows a thing or three. He knows a thing or three. Dor, it's good to see you. Welcome. Been a long time. I hope that 2026 has been kind to you, Dor. Okay, last minute before I launch into this thing then. Again, if you guys have any relationships-specific questions or relationship-adjacent questions, make sure to punch in !Notion. Okay, !Notion. And it will pull up an anonymous questionnaire submission thing. Okay, I'm collecting questions from everybody that if I'm not addressing specifically your question about singleness or dating or whatever the rest, or something in marriage, I will be getting to them. Okay, if it's not answered specifically in the course of all of this, then I will be dedicating time at the end to go through your guys' questions specifically. It's totally anonymous. I can't even see who did it. You don't need an account or anything. You just !Notion. You just follow that link. You can submit as many questions as you like. I can't see who sent them. No one can see. It's not a public board. It's just me who has access, okay? And yeah, I have no idea who sends them. I've got a bunch of questions, and I'm like, I can't even guess who they're from. There's one where the person is like, "Hi guys, it's me," and I'm like, I wonder who this could be. It's like, unless you put your name in it, I don't know who did it, but you don't got to include any of that information. I will specifically be addressing questions there, okay? That's how I'll be doing it. That's how it'll be going. So that's whatever questions you guys have, be tackling it then. Otherwise, we're going to continue about singleness tonight. Very, very important. If you missed the last couple weeks about singleness, they don't necessarily need to be in order for the singleness portion. Not necessarily, but you do want to see them. You do want to go through them. Okay? They're, again, intended to be somewhat shorter. They're not 4 hours long. You can skip the intro, and kindly, the timestamp has been supplied in no small part thanks to Mel, I think in the Rumble VODs, so you can just jump straight to the beginning of the lecture. Like, for instance, this one, if you click on the timestamp, it will skip all of this business and get right back to the intro of the starting of this thing. Okay? That's what we're going to plan on doing. Now that I've got a banner running, we're going to get to it. What do you guys think about that? I think about that. Okay? Okay? So, timestamp. The Relationships Masterclass. Singleness, Part 3. For those of you new around here, you might not know that I'm a Marine. I am a grunt, okay? If you don't know the nomenclature, you don't know all that stuff. That means I'm in the infantry, okay? Or I was in the infantry at any rate. I spent a lifetime in the military. And so I got a lifetime of experience being a grunt, okay? Doing infantryman type work. And a lot of folks in a lot of, well, positions where they don't know any better, positions of naivete. This is, of course, civilians, but also people in other branches, especially who don't know anything about the Marine Corps. They will assume that to be an infantryman, basically it's just the lowest rung of everybody, and they're therefore the dumbest, which is why you will get all manner of stories about, or all sorts of pejoratives slung in the general direction of grunts. And that's part of the name there. A grunt is someone who grunts because speech is too complicated, you know. A lot of knuckle draggers and so forth. A lot of that. Hence all of the pejoratives and jokes about crayons. Eating crayons. We're not smart enough to know to color with the crayons. We keep eating them, etc., etc. Okay. Those same people, I think, would be shocked, genuinely shocked, to find out how much goes into being an infantryman. How much you need to know, what you actually need to do in this line of work. And I would put the life of an infantryman and all of the different schooling that you have to do in order to succeed in the field of infantry, I would put that up against most of y'all's jobs. There are some exceptions, but most of y'all's jobs are far simpler than being an infantryman. Infantry is an awful lot of moving parts, and it's an awful lot of question marks, an awful lot of unknowns, and there are so many skills that go into it, and all of it is under the weight of, you could die if you get this wrong. That is true of a lot of civilian-side jobs, incidentally. Roofers, divers, oil rig workers. There's a lot of dangerous jobs out there, it's true. But this is one of them. Requires thinking on your feet, knowing what you're doing, and being able to rely, importantly, on the people around you. Much like any other one of these dangerous jobs. There's best practices for a reason. So, one of those things that we do is, it's called patrolling, okay? And if you get an op, you get an operation, they come in form of an op-ord, okay? This comes down from up top that says, we are going to do this operation to achieve these objectives, all right? We'll get a warning order that comes down from platoon commander that says, okay, here's what we're trying to accomplish. Here's how I have devised putting it together so that you do it, okay? These are my orders for you. It can be capture this particular HVT, okay, high value target, or HVI, high value individual. That depends on the nomenclature, and the acronyms change depending on the branch and all of that jazz. Okay, so if you want to go for a high value target, maybe that's your mission. That's your objective, okay? And then there's the how to do that. Then perhaps it's capture this hilltop and hold it. It's secure this road. It's go into this town, secure the town, secure an LZ, a landing zone for aircraft and so forth, okay? All sorts of mission types. But you'll get a warlord that says, here's what we're going to do it. There's op ords, plan ords, warlords, all these things that effectively are telling you, here's what you're going to go do. Okay? And then there's some how to that. Here's how you're going to go do it. Here's how you're going to go execute doing this thing. But that very often begins with, especially in the Marines, walking somewhere. We joke that in the Marines, the chief form of transportation is your Subarus, okay? Other branches have fun toys to drive around in. Very often in the Marine Corps, that will be your Subarus, okay? So you do a lot of walking in the Marines. That's sort of the norm, okay? Now, we will get the mission, the warlord saying what our mission is, where our mission is, and what mission accomplishment looks like, because it's very important to know what success looks like, what the win condition is. If this, then you were successful. If not this, then you were not successful, and so forth, okay? And we plan everything. You're going to go out to this place, and you're going to walk there, okay? You're going to patrol out there, okay? And you're going to plan, you're going to bring this much gear, this much ammo, this many munitions. You're going to have this kind of support. This is the timetables you're working with. This is the time that it's going to happen. This is all manner of things, okay? How many of you are going to go for a lot. A lot goes into these operations. Now, what it seeks to do in the grand scheme of this is give NCOs to empower leaders at different levels with the ability to execute however they see fit, to use their experience, to use their know-how to achieve mission accomplishment, okay? To reach mission accomplishment. Very often it's, here's what we want you to do. Figure it out. So the people who actually need to do it are the ones designing the mission to achieve success. So basically, they're saying, I don't care how you do this, do this. I mean, don't break the rules, don't break the law. We've got, Geneva had a whole convention about things we can and can't do. But, within the left and right lateral limits of the law of warfare, because, we abide those things here in the West, get the mission done. Accomplish the mission, okay? Now, we plan everything based on worst case scenario. That's how all training goes, and that's how all mission prep goes, all right? For those of you who, again, have never done anything like this, maybe that goes without saying, maybe it doesn't. We plan for all of our stuff to fail. All of it. You're going to have comms the whole time, so you can be in touch with whatever. No, we plan for comms to go down, because they always do. Comms always go down. Any of you infantry out there, anybody who's been a grunt in probably any branch, but certainly in the Marine Corps, the radios are from like Vietnam, you guys. The radios are from like Vietnam. They're from like 100 years ago, okay? They're ancient, and they're super unreliable. Like, they're encrypted, and hooray, they're all kinds of cool kid stuff so no one can listen in on our chatter. But that doesn't matter if we can't use the damn things, okay? So you're humping around these stupid radios that weigh a ton anyways, and then they don't work. You bring them in the hopes that they do work, and that they don't cut out, and that you do have contact with chain of command if something comes up and you need clarification, or you have questions, or you need to request backup, call for fire, all those things. Really good to have comms. But we plan assuming they're going to fail, because that's like the weakest link, okay? Comms very often fail. So all of our planning is like, yeah, you have this support, you have this fire that you can call in, you've got this and this, but plan on not having them. They're nice, and if you can use them, great. Don't count on them. You need a CAS evac, a casualty evacuation, okay? You got to call in somebody because you've got wounded or whatever else. Count on no evac. How are you going to get your wounded out without a bird? without air support, without whatever. We plan everything based around the worst case scenario. Okay? Now, part of this is losing people. Every member of every platoon or squad or however big your element is, giving you a line company, your line's going out, okay, needs to be able to, they need to know and be able to recite, basically, when tested, when quizzed, what the mission objectives are, what markers for success are, where rally points are. They need to know all of this stuff from the top to the bottom in the Marines. Other branches are not like this. Okay, but the Marines have a very decentralized command. That's by design. Every leader at every level is enabled. Every man is in charge of something or someone. Everybody needs to be prepared to execute on orders. Everybody at every level. Which means, if your squad leader gets schwacked, you don't need the information that was in his brain. Everybody else knows what it is you all set out to do. You all knew what the goal was. You all knew what the aim was. You know what the mission is, and you know what the win conditions look like. You know how important each objective is and how to get to them. Okay? So from the big guy all the way down to the E1s, everybody knows the mission. Okay? This goes your squad leaders, your team leaders, your gunners, down to everybody, every single person, okay? This is, the consequence of this is that everyone's on the same page when it comes to what we're doing and how we're going to go about doing it, okay? There's no mystery. And I'm not going to go into all of the details. I'm trying to keep this somewhat quick. But you guys would be, again, shocked if you've never been a part of such a thing to see the amount of planning that goes into a mission. You build a terrain model, for instance. That is, you build a 2-scale model of where the mission is going to take place. For every mission. It's like a sand table, okay? You just build this thing in the dirt. You use all sorts of tools, and you're like, here's where we're going to go. Here's what we're going to do. You should be able to see this, and you should expect to see that. And this is the village that you're going to meander on into. You're going to be able to, okay, and so what if this person goes down? Where do you go? Where's the point that you're going to capture? You're going to, okay. What if this? What if this? What happens if there's an IED? What happens if... Every single person at every level knows all of that. We're all on the same page, okay? And we're all pulling equally in the same direction. That's very important. It's not this person has tasked with that thing over there and they're going to wander off in that direction. You're all going to split up. No, we are all on the same page and we're all headed toward the same thing. And we're all pulling together. We are all competent and capable. And there's no one person who has pieces of the puzzle that others don't have. It's spread loaded amongst us all. We are peers when we're on patrol toward a mission, okay? This is effectively what I talked about in the previous singleness lecture on being equally yoked, okay? Now, if you're going out on patrol toward a mission, okay, there are different formations that you can be in, different squad, team configurations, whatever it is, and that's basically like different shapes that you all kind of walk in. Okay, there's wedge formations, there's echelons, there's lines, I suppose, if you really want to use a line. But then there's column. Column is the most common. Lots of people want to be fancy schmancy. We're doing an echelon. Sure. Column. We're going to end up in columns. In particular, because my specialty was anti-terrorism and MOUT operations. Okay, MOUT. That means military ops in urban terrain. That means streets. That means buildings. Okay? Picture street clearing, building clearing in an urban area. That's my job. That's what I did. That's what I spent a lifetime doing and teaching. Okay? So, column is what you're going to end up doing. Why? Because streets are lines. A column is a staggered line, basically. It's a zigzag of guys that just go back, okay? One's up here, another one's here, another one's here, another one's here, another one's... Okay, and it creates this dotted stagger zigzag. Okay? That's what this is. Down the line. That's a column formation, okay? You give the hand and arm signal, all right, we're going to do a column formation. Nobody is shocked by that. We're all in a column, okay? Now, the way that this works is even in a column, it is beyond just the shape. The positioning of each person matters. It's strategic. It's designed. So you'll have a rifleman up front. That is, somebody who's a good shot very often, someone with good eyes, with good ears, someone who's attentive and sharp, but also usually just a rifleman, okay? You want someone who's those things, you want those good qualities, but you want those in basically everybody. But you put someone up front who's point. That's what we call the person up front, point. Someone's walking point. This person is, their chief purpose is to be the forwardmost set of eyes. Whatever happens up front is his responsibility, okay? Whatever is to be seen in the front, it's him who's gonna see it, not the people behind. It's his responsibility to have eyes front, okay? And I don't mean tunnel vision locked right here, but all of sort of this, as he's walking, this is his purview, okay? This is his especial, more than anyone else. No one else is as far up in the column as he is, okay? And some people don't have the optics that he has because he will often have an RCO or an ACOG, some of you call this thing, okay? It's the ranging. It's the 4 times magnifier that's on most rifles, service rifles now. There are new ones as well that are being put into place now. Those are the ones that I used, was the RCOs back in the day. And that came after iron sights. So yeah, I have an optic up there. Okay, that's the person walking point. Now, staggering behind that, you'll have your gunner and your A gunner, and the team configuration. Then your squad extends back, it telescopes back. Who is texting me? Everybody I know is here. I don't know how many of you are texting me. Stop texting me. I'm busy. So, there's your stagger. There's your column going back. Now, you got point up there, okay? Now, also up front, if you've got a platoon, you've got 3, maybe 4 squads that go all the way back in a long-ass column, okay? So point is pretty far up there compared to whoever's in the rear, right? Right up front there, not with point man, but behind point man near the front, is navigation, okay? This will be someone who's got a compass. That's at least their job. Their job is navigation. Now, next to them will probably be team lead. Sometimes they will be a part of the zigzag. Sometimes they'll be in the middle. Very often they'll be sort of in the middle of these things, depending on the environment that you're in, all right? So if you're navigating out in open terrain, they might be sort of enclosed with people kind of walking around the outside. They will sort of be in the middle as a lead element. But up toward the front, you've got the navigator. Now, this person is doing pace counting. I'm not going to go into all the stuff, but this is how you measure distance. He's counting steps and all that jazz. But he's also checking the compass and learning direction to this and that, because you got to get to the objective. Many people think, well, okay, here's what happens when we hit the building. Cool. How do we get to the building? If you're not being like heloed on top of the building or something like that, getting there is kind of important. If you're going into a hostile village or whatever, you got to get to that hostile village. And if you're trying to do this all sneaky-like, cool kid-like, you're not going to go rolling in with gun trucks, okay? Show of force type operations. If you're meandering on in, you're probably going to do this in the middle of the night, okay? You're going to use darkness. Darkness is your friend. Maybe all of you have nods on. That's NVGs, night vision goggles. And quiet. In you go, okay? Navigator is the one that makes sure you get there. And this is especially important at night when you don't have any obvious landmarks to go off of. If it's dark, you don't got a full moon or any of that jazz. Okay, it's not like in the movies. It's dark. So you got MVGs, and it's this person's job to get you there effectively. You'll have a couple other people, usually just one, sometimes 2 other people, who are doing pace counts to help do distance measurement, okay? But he's responsible for all this stuff. Now, you're like, what the compass? Why do you have a compass? What is wrong? We have GPS today. We plan for every single bit of technology to fail us because they often do. Now, yes, it's true that today GPS is much more reliable than once it was. You can have a little Garmin system or whatever system, and it can track your location pretty darned well. And they're nowadays pretty tough, pretty reliable. with service connection, with all that stuff. They're pretty durable. Batteries last a lot longer than they used to. All that jazz, that's true. Someone's still gotta know how to read the navigation. Even if it's technologically advanced navigating, it's still navigating. But we train with compasses in the Marine Corps. Other branches don't do that. Other branches don't train with compasses. They're counting on, they're dependent on the technology. So if they lose their land nav system, they're screwed. Okay? The Marines, it's lowest common denominator, always. It's weakest link, always. It's planned for the worst, always. Because the tech keeps failing. It always fails. So compass. Okay. Now, something to know about these compasses. Magnetic compasses. Actual magnetic compass and all that jazz, right? Not like on your phone with the little visual. An actual, like, magnet with the little dial arm pointer fingy. Okay, like the works. It's a legit thing. Now, I want to tell you guys something about these, which are also old. The magnet compasses, they also go back to, like, Vietnam, okay? They're old. So we use all the time. And again, radios are pretty unreliable, and so you're doing all the checking, comms, whatever. You need to be able to do all of this autonomously. You very often don't have air support or somebody looking over your shoulder to be like, yeah, you're in position. That's up to you to know. So kind of a lot rests on this navigator. Okay? And I'll get more into that in a minute. But everyone else in the column, everyone else is counting on this person. Everybody else's direction of travel and all the rest, and therefore their ability, the platoon, squad, whatever your size element is, their ability to successfully complete the mission and whatever objectives may have been set for their op, depends on the accuracy and focus of the guy with the compass, okay? So it behooves them to take as much off his plate as possible so he can avoid mistakes. Now, there are some issues with magnetic compasses, more than just you got to know how to use the damn things, okay? One of them, chiefly, is metal. Metal pulls the magnet. It throws off what the needle is doing. It throws off your compass. If you never use magnetic compasses, you don't ever give this any thought. But we actually have guidelines in all of our infantry manuals about how to manage this, okay? For instance, if you are near high-tension power lines, you know, the ones that are pretty high up off the ground. Some of you guys got those by your house. You can sort of hear them buzz on a hot day. Those ones, high-tension power lines. Guess what? Those things have a measurable, like, bad throw-off effect on a magnetic compass in a pretty big way. So in order to use that compass reliably, you need to be a minimum safe distance of 55 meters away from those power lines. Whichever direction they're running, you need to be 55 meters away from those damn things in order for your compass to be reliable in where it's telling you this way, that way. Okay? Similarly, if you're near an artillery piece, a tank, a gun truck, any of those things, big hunks of dense metal, they throw it off too, okay? So for those, you need to be 18 meters minimum away. You're like, but I'm with a tank. Yup. Your compass ain't any good. 18 meters away from the tank. Kind of nuts, okay? Telephone wire or barbed wire, concertina lines, any of that stuff, all that, you gotta be 10 meters away in order for your compass to work correctly, okay? So not the high tension power lines, just little telephone lines, just little baby ones. Hardly any power running. Still, gotta be sent away from them. Then machine guns, which is bigger than a typical rifle. Any weapon system. Machine guns are bigger, more metal. Whether that's a 240 Golf Bravo whatever, okay, 7.62 system, or if it's a 5.56, sort of something like the SAW, okay, the M249 SAW, squad automatic weapon for the Marine Corps, organic to when I was still bopping around as a grunt, okay? These things you need to be 2 meters away from. You're like, but what if I have a machine gun? Machine gunner's not the nav guy for this reason. You cannot be the guy walking around, humping around the squad automatic weapon, the SAW, okay, walking around like this with the SAW. You cannot do that and be the guy responsible for the compass at the same time. You can't. Not allowed. Verboten. Okay, verboten. Which brings us down to a rifleman. A typical service rifle in the Marine Corps. For me, as an M4, okay, you're humping around the M4. You need to be half of a meter away. Still, every Marine is a rifleman. Every single Marine is armed. Typically with more than just a rifle. Very often you also have knives and a sidearm and throwables and bags and all kinds of junk in your backpack and all the... Okay, there's a lot. So you can't be the comm guy, your radio and all the rest here. You got to be far away from that. You can't be the saw guy. Okay, so you're a rifleman who's doing the navigating. You're the rifleman who has the compass, sitting there looking down the line. Okay, lining up your azimuths and all that jazz. Okay. You still can't have your rifle slung in front of you. Now, it used to be the case that people would say, all right, if you're the nav guy, you actually need to hand off your rifle to somebody else. That was practiced by some people because the thing still throws off your rifle. So, hand off the rifle to somebody else, who now needs to hump around your gear, hump around all that a little extra weight of your rifle while you focus on this, okay? Nowadays, it is considered pretty typical and pretty effective. You sling the rifle. Now, that's not something you usually do as a Marine. Like, you can have the rifle with your 3-point slinger or 1 point or whatever it is hanging in front of you because you've got it available to use and to, you know, like engage with. But if you got the compass, it can't be in front of you. So what's right now acceptable is you sling the thing on the back of your pack or whatever it is, or over your back, and your body will act as a buffer, where if you've got the compass up here, you've got enough distance between you and the rifle that it's not throwing you off too badly. That's crazy. And we did it all the time. What do you notice about this? This means that the guy with the rifle, this means that the guy with the compass is effectively unarmed. Either literally he's unarmed, or it's impossible for him to be effective quickly because his rifle's on his back. Especially if he's got a pack on, something like that. It's not going to be easy for him to get to this rifle and engage as quickly as he would in any normal circumstances, okay? So again, it falls on everyone in his community, his squad, his team, his platoon, to keep as much off his plate as possible. In other words, he can't be checking rooftops. If you're patrolling down a street and you're calling down a street headed toward whatever building, you be on this right side, you're looking above the people on the left because you've got a better sight line on the rooftops and the windows of that left side. They, over on the opposite side, are looking above you, and you have cross fields looking for one another, looking out for one another, looking above one another, okay, ready to engage for one another. You've got all these interlocking fields of fire and eyes looking every which way, scanning every which thing. Compass guy can't be looking at any of that. Compass guy needs to care about navigation. Compass guy needs to be looking at maps. Compass guy needs to be looking at the compass. He can't be checking rooftops. Similarly, he's the one making sure not to skyline them. What that means, you guys, it's like silhouetting. Some people will call different things. Basically, you don't want to walk on ridge tops. If you're in mountains, terrain of any kind, or whatever, and it comes up to a peak, maybe there's a trail at the top, you don't want to be up there because it skylines you. It highlights you against the clouds, against the sunset, the sunrise, the whatever else. Now you're obvious to see. Now, hey, there's a person up there. There's a whole line of people up there. So we don't skyline ourselves. It's up to navigation to make sure you're not walking on the top of a line. You need to be on the sides of things where your camouflage can do its work, okay, where you can use concealment and cover where necessary. You don't want to be up the top. And it's his job to plot a course and to guide you guys on a course that avoids such things. Same thing with fatal funnels that you might find yourself in, open terrain unnecessarily, all that jazz. He's got a job, and a terribly important one. Navigate you guys in the most intelligent route possible to hopefully ensure mission accomplishment, okay? Which means all the rest of the people, okay, doing this job, they can't be focused on navigation. They've got enough on their plates. They can't be worrying about Are we going to do the sight line? Ridge lines? Are we doing this? Are we doing that? They need to be focusing on their environment. Navigation has a lot of decisions to make. That's on them. And again, they'll often be with a team lead or even the squad lead if they really want to be up there and doing that. Okay. They'll be everybody has a role to play. We can't do this alone. When you're in a column like this, everybody is counting on everybody else. When you're going on a mission like this, everybody is relying on everybody else with your lives. I'm looking over your head and watching so that nobody's going to drop an explosive on you. I'm ready to engage to protect you. And you're doing the same for me because I can't cover me. Navigation can't defend himself. Not quickly, not easily. You all need to. Navigation needs to make sure that everybody's on track and thus protecting them from avoidable hazards. We all rely on one another. The unit fails without it. Someone's got to have your 6. And if you're not familiar with this phrasing, it's basically you can only be looking one direction. So who's looking behind you? Just so. In the column, we often do something called a drunk walk, where you sort of zigzag as you walk, which lets you look in all kinds of directions. You don't look fixed in one spot, because you also need to be looking to your team. You often, very frequently, every 3 to 5 steps, it's actually one of the worst habits for people to fall out of, is like not looking at teammates. You get hypnotized by the environment. You get locked in and tunnel vision on, oh, geez, this and that in the windows. You must check in with your people very frequently, especially if we're moving quiet, if we're moving at night. We're using hand and arm signals, baby. You got nods on, you got NVGs on. It's hand and arm signals, baby. Like you're communicating all sorts of stuff and changes silently. It's kind of important that it be done that way. So, if someone doesn't look at you and you're hand signaling over here, you're screwed. How are you going to get that guy's attention? If you call the platoon to a halt and the guy in front just stops looking back, he just keeps walking. We don't got cool guy comms between every single person. Not all the time. And when we do, they fail a lot of the time. How are you going to tell him? Hey, stupid, turn around, get back. Nope, dude just keeps walking. There he goes. We're all stopped back here. He's just a dingus out there in the middle of Timbuktu. Just off he goes. Everybody needs to be checking in with everybody else. Okay? Someone's looking out for things that you aren't, and then they need to communicate to those things to you. So you have to check in with them. Who's got your 6? Is a very important question. And I need to count on this team to be watching my ass. And then I need to look at them and check in with them and get intel from them. What are we going to do next? There's so many moving parts, you guys. What did you see over there? What did you see back there? Person who's pulling up the rear back there. What did you see? Is someone following us? He's our guy. And he needs to communicate it to the rest of us because our eyes aren't there. We are exposed. If not for our friends looking out for us. So my question for each of you here tonight in the Relationships Masterclass and navigating the world of relationships is this. Who do you have in your life that's got your 6? Who do you have around you that will go, hey, you're veering a little. Head back this way. This way, right here. Okay. While your focus is on windows. Hey, man. While your focus is down here on this, and what is this right now? Who do you have that will go, hey, that way. We can't be focused 100% of the time on every single thing. we also can't be focused on what it is we are after 100% of the time, because our attention is pulled this way and that way constantly. And yet, it's terribly important that we check in, say with our compass here, on true north with regularity to make sure we're not getting off track. If you're that navigator, yeah, you still need to be checking with people. You still need to be looking around at people. You still need to have your eyes on the horizon and figure out your navigation. But you still need to be in touch with the people around you. You can't just have your head down 100% of the time. You do need to check in. You do need to communicate. You need to be part of the chain of communication, okay? So, reliance upon the others, okay? Who is keeping you on track? Who do you have in your life? It's two things. That is, one, they've concurred on what the mission is. We talked about this in the last installment of Singleness. What your life's mission is. What your purpose is. What your true north is. Who in your life concurs with that as a valuable, worthwhile mission that you've pointed your life toward achieving? So who's on the same page with you, one, and two, is both capable and willing, both are important, to course correct you when you start to veer, when you start to get off track, who is both capable and willing to course correct you. I've said this many times now over the course of this so far. Singleness, this season of singleness that we all occupy for varying lengths of time, is the opportunity to cement who we are, what we believe, and what we pursue prior to adding another human to the equation. If you add another human to the equation, if you are perennially single, you still need to figure out who you are, what you'll pursue, based on what beliefs. You still need those things. So first, singleness is the opportunity to figure out true north, okay? To orient yourself to true north. This is the only chance you get in a vacuum. We talked about it a lot last time. The only time that you get to do this in a vacuum, to figure out what your true north is, okay? Changing directions later will hurt. It'll hurt you. It'll hurt the people around you, okay? We've talked about that before. Once you've figured out that true north, you need to head in that direction. And you need to do so while undistracted. We talked about that as well, okay? And once you've leveraged singleness to lock in on true north, then you need to use that season of singleness, okay, to get good at going north, okay, as it were. Whatever your mission is. So, it's not just about deciding what your life ought to be spent on, deciding what it's worth, what all of the effort ought be pointed at. It's about doing it too. It's about execution as well. Not just planning, not just mission planning, but mission execution. Actually walking this out. That's the next part of this, okay? There's a reason that we in the Marines spend so much time doing land nav, incidentally. It's because it's not easy, especially at first. In fact, it's super confusing. It's super confusing at first. There are compasses, protractors, topographic maps, okay, special map pens, you got the laminated thing and all this, azimuth, back azimuth. All you need to care about natural navigation indicator type things like where the sun is, positioning of the sun, where it's rising, where it's setting, what the stars look like at night, your star map, which changes depending on which part of the world that you're in. You're like, I'm looking for the North Star. Surprise! North Star isn't visible in a bunch of chunks of the world, okay? Different seasons of the year mean different star. So you need to actually learn star charts. Yeah, all of you with your like complicated office jobs are like, maybe I don't want to be a grunt. Yeah, you gotta memorize star charts and all the rest of, okay, I gotta do this, and you do navigation. There's a lot that goes into it. Especially in the beginning, it's overwhelming, okay? It's very frustrating. And there are geez, beyond that, best practices for terrain navigation. Okay, are you going to traverse this thing? Are you going to go straight up it? Are you going to use the gullies? Are you going to up, down the fingers and the draws and the whatever? There's a lot. Light discipline, very often we operate at night. Especially in the Marines, operate at night, okay? And that means light discipline. Do you have a red lens on, or is you using an infrared? You got a poncho now to cover up all of that stuff. How are you going to navigate? How often are you going to? There's so much that goes into this, okay? A lot goes into orienting yourself to where you need to go. But even more goes into actually walking that out. It's one thing to plan a mission. It's another to execute it. It's another to live the thing. And the same goes for your life. It's one thing to decide, yeah, that's what I want. That's true north, and that's what I'm going to aim my life at. That's what I'm going to bend myself toward, bend my will toward achieving. It's another thing altogether to walk it out. Yeah, I want that. Okay? So do it. What this looks like practically is frequently checking the compass. Frequently orienting yourself. By this point in the series, you may have noticed that I've spent virtually all of our time talking about one thing in particular, finding out who you are and what you're about, what you're for, as opposed to against. And that's because you need to know who all's entering into a prospective relationship. Most of you wanted, and still want, me to jump ahead to the part where we talk about the other person. What about my prospects, Gust? What about that person, that guy, that gal? What if they cute? What if they're only half the equation? And remember, you have control over exactly one person in this world, and it's the one in the mirror on a good day, when your impulse control is locked in, okay? So it ought make sense why we're spending so much time on singleness. Because while it's super important, it's true, to suss out who the potential prospect is that you're eyeballing, okay, who they are actually means very little in a vacuum. It actually means very little without context. This is something we haven't talked about yet. What context? The context of who you are and what life they would ostensibly be joining up with. That context. And while there are objectively good qualities, okay, for this person to have, integrity, a good work ethic, courage, etc., there are other qualities that only seem to be objectively good. For instance, if your priority in life is something like service before self, okay, and you want to live like, say, Mother Teresa, an extreme example, but it illustrates our point well, okay, you will not consider an objective good. You will not consider it to be an objective good matching up with someone who does day trading to maximize their individual portfolio into net worth. You two won't jive. You won't match up well together. Your objectives differ enough that this isn't necessarily a desirable quality. Someone having amassed mass wealth. Having lots of money, therefore, isn't necessarily something you're looking for. Or at least it's not a cornerstone quality of the person that you're looking to link up with. As a quick aside, the astute observer will have just picked up on something else in my having said that. What we look for in another is influenced by who we think we are. So if you think that you're a princess, and that everyone else should consider themselves lucky to be around you, and certainly someone who would be lucky to date you and all that, then you will demand that your partner hit the 666 markers, right? 6 feet tall, 6 figure, okay. We'll talk more about that in the dating portion of the Masterclass, but who you think you are influences what it is you will demand from the other. We'll get into it. Back to context. You cannot, not maybe won't, or sometimes mess it up, okay? You cannot know who you ought link arms with, what the qualities of the person with whom you would purport to link arms with, cannot know what those qualities are until you know who you are, because you won't know which qualities actually matter to you until you've figured out who you are, what you believe, what you're about, what you'll pursue. Do you see it? This person's qualities don't matter in a vacuum. They matter in relation to you and what you are doing. So, as we said last time, we start with me. Me before we. Not in a selfish way, oh, I gotta look at myself, but in a I can't see clearly who I ought pursue until I get this right in any case kind of way. Okay? And that is important, not just for you, but for whomever your prospects are. This is important to get right so you're not wasting their time or yours. Getting this right is the unselfish thing to do. Winging it, seeing how it goes, on the other hand, is not the, oh, I'm easygoing and low maintenance and just kind of a go with the flow kind of person flex that you think it is. It's inherently selfish, in fact, for reasons we've talked about previously in singleness. Now, if you course correct at any point down the line, you will cause damage. You have set this person up for failure by not having objectives of your own. By not having answered the question, who are you? What do you believe? And what will you pursue with your life? Essentially, you haven't put in any of the work that you're expecting your counterpart to do. I'm just a passenger princess for life. Oh, they need to have done a ton, though. Selfish. And that makes you a lousy prospect for a partner. Kind of an important word. But back to our major idea of what singleness is for. Again, to hammer home the point, to beat the dead horse. Singleness is the opportunity to cement who we are, what we believe, and what we pursue prior to adding another person to the equation. I said that singleness is first the opportunity to figure out true north, and then to get good at actually going north. Yeah? Okay. But there's a second part to this that I've already alluded to, specifically to do with that part about actually going north. And that's that we're not meant to travel alone. We cannot do so effectively, not for long. You've no doubt heard the age-old idiom, okay, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Well, that's true here. Life will, obviously, involve you doing things solo, okay? Personal competence is critical in life, and becoming competent is something we each ought work on. Not least of all because you're no good to anyone else if you're completely incompetent and you're only ever a taker and not a contributor. Okay? But even someone who's terribly competent personally is still in for trouble in life if they try and take on everything by themselves. It's a logistics problem that cannot be overcome. We need community. So back to our point. Once you've identified the mission and gotten your bearings for true north, you need to actually travel that away. Okay? That's what you're meant to do in singleness. Plan, yes. Have an objective, yes. Plan for working on that objective, yes. And then execute on that objective. Okay? Travel in the direction of north. Not in a theoretical, hypothetical, maybe someday kind of sense. Actually do it. And to do so with any kind of efficiency or efficacy, you'll need mentors and companions. Think of Tolkien's fellowship, okay? Fellowship of the Rings. No one person could have completed the mission. No one person could have completed the task. No one person was suited for it. It took all sorts, each doing their part based on their talents and gifting. Especially when you're young and inexperienced with the world, you need mentor types who have traveled these roads before to show you the way. So again, my question for you is this. Who in your life has got your 6? Who, during your season of singleness, have you secured for your fellowship? Who have you established as a regular part of your life that are both capable and willing to course correct you when you start to veer? When you start getting off track, who reins you in? Who is capable and willing to do so? It might be your parents, your grandparents, aunts, uncles, maybe even siblings, okay? But this will also include coaches, counselors, teachers, pastors, maybe fellow warriors if you're in the Marines like me. It can include folks like the men and women in the business leadership group that Hot Bride and I attend each week, okay? Or like the men in my whiskey and cigar group, or the women in Moxie's ladies group, okay? These groups, incidentally, in our lives include some of the most influential mentors either of us have ever had. And even outside the scope of normal life stuff, they were amongst the most responsive, the most helpful, and certainly the quickest to act and be there for us when Hot Bride was hospitalized last year. To clarify, these are not folks we see on occasion. They're not folks we bump into a couple times a year for holidays or special occasions, all right? We see these people at least once a week, often more. And that's not including the interactions we have with them that are not in person. We're in touch, okay? The point is, these folks know, because we walk with them, these folks know about us. Who we are, what we believe, and what we pursue. They know those qualities about us. They know our answers to those questions. What singleness is meant to answer. What you are supposed to have comprehensive, intellectually and emotionally and relationally satisfying answers to prior to adding another person to the equation. These people that we see know those things about us, who we are, what we believe, and what we pursue. What's more, these folks are of all ages, okay, with many of them being well over twice or in some cases even thrice our age. They know where the pitfalls are because they've fallen into them, often a lifetime ago, some more recently. And they know where the solid ground is because it's their footprints we're walking in, with their counsel and their guidance. So let's bring these together. The season of singleness is about finding out who all will be cast in your fellowship. That includes who you are, okay, as we've talked about extensively by this point. And it includes who your companions will be, obviously. Who will hold you accountable to both your mission and your word. This is a bit of blending of relational seasons here, what I'm about to get into next, okay? We're sort of stepping outside of the strict scope of singleness now. But it's important to get this part right it's important to get this part right during singleness. So I'll risk some spoilers, okay? If you're watching the VOD for this, leave a comment below. Don't cheat. Leave a comment below and let me know. Be honest. How many of y'all, and you can do it in chat if you feel like, I just can't see chat. How many of y'all have attended a wedding? Oh, we're jumping from singleness to weddings. I don't know, bear with me, okay? How many of y'all have attended a wedding? Show of hands. Leave a comment. How many of y'all have attended 2 weddings? How many of you have been to over 10 weddings? Okay. Well, if you're in the West and you've attended more than 1 wedding, you might have noticed some patterns on how the ceremony itself plays out. For our purposes in the season of singleness, though, I want to draw your attention to one tradition in particular. Okay, we got to narrow our scope here. Avoid spoilers. We're going to focus up. Again, leave a comment below if you knew what I'm about to say. Okay, leave a comment below letting me know that you knew this before I told you. Okay, if you're one of them cool kids who's like, oh, I've heard this before, I knew this thing, leave a comment below. Let me tell me, okay? If you are in attendance at a wedding, okay, you're sitting in the audience. You're in the pews, the chairs, the whatever, the field, however it's set, okay? You're there witnessing a wedding ceremony. Which side, from your perspective, okay, you're sitting out here and they're up there, okay? Which side is the groom usually standing on? Leave a comment if you knew this. He stands on the right side. Do you know why? This is a tradition that goes back to antiquity, and it's often observed today. Okay? Most men are right-handed, which makes his right arm his sword arm. Okay? So, if he's to stand in front of that room, holding hands with his bride-to-be, okay, he does so with his left hand, his off hand. Okay, he's sitting over here, standing up there. They're doing their ceremony. He's holding her hand with his left hand. Okay, you following? You tracking so far? Okay, and that's so his sword arm is free in case he needs to fend off attackers, raiders, or competing suitors, maybe displeased family members. Okay, and he needs to be able to do so at a moment's notice. He needs to keep his fighting arm, his sword arm, free. And so long as his sword arm is available, he can do so effectively and quickly and efficiently, okay? Now, per our lessons in the masculine journey that we went through last year, okay, in 2025, by this point in the young man's life, he ought to have figured out to whom or to what cause his strength and his sword will be committed, will be dedicated. And by this point, he will have fought many battles. This includes us in modernity, okay? Some of those battles will be physical. Perhaps you're a warrior like me, and you will have fought physical battles, right? Some physical, many mental, many emotional. So his sword arm, by this point, ought to be well practiced in both offense and defense. Skill and experience he will now bring to the marriage union. And up to this point, he's fought those battles undistracted and unencumbered, okay? Free to move. Up to this point. The battles have received his focus and his undivided attention in many cases. He has committed to a cause and he has fought for his cause. He has had something to defend and he has defended it undistracted, locked in. But at that wedding ceremony, something happens to him for the first time in his life. Once the words have been said and the vows are through, the newlyweds turn to face those witnessing the day. But in so doing, the man must forfeit his sword arm. His right hand now clasps that of his bride, signifying his commitment to the union, signifying his commitment of strength to the union, that which once was for unmitigated, unwavering, undistracted commitment to battle, is now in this union. He will no longer be able to quickly and decisively respond to threats of attack. He is now distracted. He is now encumbered. Do you see it? This is why we have groomsmen, in fact. In case you didn't know any of this, we had a little more history for you here. Groomsmen are to be there to ensure that the ceremony happens and to fend off anyone who would seek to disrupt it, okay? The best man, so-called, in particular, was historically chosen not because he was a nice guy that you like or whatever, but for his ability to fight. This would have been your right-hand man in a scrap. This would have been chosen, this person would have been chosen for his prowess in fighting, okay? And now, with your sword arm in the marriage, occupied, taken, you will be more reliant than ever on those who have sworn to protect the Union. Did you catch that? Those who have sworn to protect the Union? That, if you didn't know, is the purpose of the wedding party. It's not your brother is the best man or a groomsman, whatever, because it's your brother. It's not, it's your friend from college because he's funny and he's going to give a funny toast, probably. It's the men in your life who are both capable and willing to defend your marriage. These are the men that you've surrounded yourself with while you are yet single, who will hold you accountable to your vows when you start to veer off course. Hey man, what are you doing talking to that girl like that? You're married now, my guy. I think you've had enough for the night, dude. We're gonna get you home. Hey man, your wife said you guys were going to go visit her family this weekend. That includes you, bro. You can't come fishing with us when she called dibs on your weekend. This goes for you too, ladies. Your bridesmaids were not historically your sister because she's your sister. Or your friend from college, because she's fun to party with. It's the women in your life who are both capable and willing to defend your marriage. These are the women you've surrounded yourself with while you are yet single, who will hold you accountable to your vows when you start to veer off course. Whoa, girl, were you just flirting with the bartender? I don't care if it's just for fun. You're married now. And I think you've had enough in any case. Time to get you home. Whoa, girl. What are you doing gossiping? What are you doing bad-mouthing about your husband with us? It's your job to support the man you chose, not nitpick all of his shortcomings. We're not gonna be here for this. We won't be party to this. We don't support this. Your bridal party should be those in your life. And here I cannot stress this enough. That you surrounded yourself with while you are still single, who are both capable and willing to defend the sanctity of that marriage from any and all threats. That includes, as it did historically, physical threats, yes, but also social threats, relational threats, economic threats. If someone in your circle of ladies starts to sow seeds of discontent in the marriage, your bridesmaids, and in particular your maid of honor, should be the first ones to stamp that out, to squash that. If the men in your life try to pit you against your now wife by being bad influences on you, come on, man. You don't need her permission to go golfing with the boys, do you? What, she got your balls in her purse or something? Your groomsmen, and especially your best man, should be the first ones to speak up against it. And to reiterate, in both cases, your bridal party should be the first one to rein you in if you are the one getting off the beam. What's the true north in your life? What did you decide while you were yet single that your life would be about? What's it purposed with? These are the folks, your fellowship, who will keep your eyes fixed on true north, on the big picture, on what you said your big picture was. These are not the ones excuse me. These are the ones who understand the mission and will not let you go astray. These are the ones who understand the mission and who will not let you go astray, regardless of whether it's outside influence that threatens the mission or your own internal struggles and misgivings that do so. These are the people who will ensure your life does not devolve into listless, directionless apathy. Who in your life does this describe? I submit to you that if you've never considered these things, you have misused your singleness. And if you are in a relationship now, and you are without such a fellowship, then there are a few things as critical to the long-term survival of that relationship than this. You each need to take very seriously surrounding yourself with such people. Whenever we get new joins in my Monday Night Men's group, my whiskey and cigar group, the guys who've been around me the longest, the ones who I've known the longest, who've been in that group the longest, they love to give half joking, half serious introductions about each other. It's like, oh, watch out for this guy. He's and then they'll tell you something. Oh, he's into this. And oh, if you want to do any sort of golfing, you talk to that guy. And this guy's got he's going to try and rope you into this or that. Or just be advised. Okay. Well, we sort of like warn one another. Okay. Warn the new guy about this guy. Okay. One time he did this and you don't want to. Okay. And for me, without fail, every time they want to tell somebody new about me, one of the first things they say is how I joined the group. When I first met that group, which was like a decade ago now, okay? It was like 7 guys who sort of regularly met the core group of guys we met with, okay? And we all met in an Irish pub once a week after work, okay? And one of the first things I told them when I met them, like day one, was I was looking for groomsmen. It's like, basically, what are you doing here with the group and this and that? And I said, I'm looking for groomsmen. And to be clear, I wasn't even engaged yet, okay? Hot Bride and I had been dating, but we weren't engaged. We didn't have a wedding date figured out. We didn't have any of that stuff figured out. I meant what I've just talked to you guys about. I said, in effect, I'm looking for my fellowship. I take my relationship and my commitments in my relationship, I take that very seriously. And I take the prospect of having a marriage with Moxie here very seriously. And I want to know who the men will be who surround me to keep me on course when I start to veer. When I start to veer. Not if. When. True for each of us. No matter what it is or how you're going to get off of the beam, you are. We all are. We're human. We're disappointments. Guy, gal, doesn't matter. We're all in this boat. We will veer off course. The question is, who do you have to rein you back in when you do? And that's what I put to these gentlemen. Oh, I wasn't saying necessarily, I choose you. What I communicated was, this is what I'm on the lookout for, and I take it very seriously. I am on the lookout for someone who will do this thing and is capable and willing to do this thing. I didn't even know these men. I did all of this with intentionality is the point. I did not stumble my way into relationships. I did not haphazardly end up with the crew that I did. I said to them, in point of fact, kind of pointed question, are you guys those type of guys? Each of you. This interaction forced each of them to examine themselves and ask, am I that guy? Am I the kind of guy someone would trust with the protection of his mission and his marriage? How about you, listening right now? Are you the sort of person who can be trusted with such a responsibility? And if not, why not? These are the sorts of things that we need to spend the season of singleness getting right, gang. This is what the season of singleness is for. And if you find yourself planning a wedding and struggling to cobble together a bridal party that matches what I just described, you have not taken advantage of this season wisely. A lifetime ago, I went on many a patrol with the Marines, many a mission. Some of them were simple, okay? Very few moving parts, really straightforward, okay? And others were super complicated. Enormous potential for things to go terribly wrong. In both situations, I did not get to choose who I would team up with. It's not how it works. When I was a slick sleeve private, okay, just joined my unit, I was assigned to a team within a squad, right? I did not get to choose who my team leader was going to be, who my squad leader was going to be. I didn't get to choose who my NCOs were going to be. I did not get to choose my gunner. I didn't get to choose. I didn't get to choose any of that stuff, okay? I had to work with what I was handed. That's how it works. Same goes for when I got promoted into leadership positions, okay? Oh, you're going to be a team lead now. I didn't get to hand select a team. It was your team leader of this team. Here's your guys. They were assigned to me, okay? But you know what happened when I became a squad leader? No. Once again, I don't get to pick the guys. I don't get to choose anyone. They're assigned to me. And I have to make do with what I got. With who I got. I gotta make do. And very often, as a result, things went wrong. We had a gun truck get hit by an IED because my team lead was tired of calling in suspicious things on the roadside. I'm gonna call in EOD and it can take a long ass time and all that. We had already done it. It's I just want to get to our AO without any more delays. That's what he said. So we got hit with something that was called out. Those of you guys who've never been in the sandbox, you've never been in theater, you've never seen any of that stuff, early indicators used to be, well, there's a piece of trash on the side of the road. That's part of what you were taught in the early days. There's a piece of trash. very often IEDs were remote detonated. That is, there's a spotter sitting there with a button watching to see when you drive by, and then they manually detonate it, okay? They go, well, they need a visual indicator to see where the bomb is that they planted. And very often, it'll be kind of an obvious indicator for their purposes, okay? So they can see it from wherever the hell they are with binoculars, or if they're with an eyesight of the thing. They're looking for their garbage bag. And when you drive by the garbage bag, they go, okay? Surprise! The country's filled with trash. All of those countries are filled with trash. There's garbage everywhere. It's a backwater. Every single road looks like Portland or Seattle. Yeah, all of you who live in Portland and Seattle and LA and San Francisco should feel called out. It looked like that. Trash everywhere. So what do you call out? I understand what Team was after. I understand what Lead was after. I know what he meant. I understood the fatigue of calling in every stupid little thing. I got that. Everything's trash. You gotta call in every stupid little... I get it. But this one was called out and said, I don't like that one. Screw it, we push. And we got hit. Unfortunately, no one died that time. But now, instead of our movement being delayed by stopping and calling it in, it was terminated. Now, we had to call in a wrecker. A wrecker's a big-ass tow truck, basically. Up armors are heavy as hell, okay? So you need a special rig to move the damn thing. Okay, it was... And they got to call off the op. And they called us off of the op, rather. Now they got to call in the QRF. Okay, the Quick React Force. This is the team that's supposed to be our backup. They're sitting standby, ready to go in case something goes wrong. No, now they're the lead on it. Now they need to go in and do this thing. Okay? A different group is going to go do this thing. And then, now another group that's supposed to be out of rotation, that shouldn't have had anything on their plate today. Today's their day off. Maybe they get some sleep today. Maybe they get some chow today. Some rest. Now they're QRF. Now they're the Quick React Force for the team that just went out while we're sidelined. I could tell you countless stories of the mishaps and ridiculousness I found myself waist deep in as a consequence of being attached to a bunch of dumb motherfuckers who didn't have the kind of discipline that I had. Our platoons were more often than not a hodgepodge of guys. Some who sort of cared. Some who cared a little bit more. And many who didn't care at all. Or jaded. And by years in the suck. Cynical, counting down the days till EAS. End of active service, the day they get out. Does any of this sound familiar to the people that are in your life? That you are surrounded by? Hodgepodge. When the relationships around you, yours or someone else's, are at risk, is it a motley hodgepodge of cynics and optimists, mixed bag, giving, well, a mixed bag of advice? Oh, you should do this. No, screw that. Do this thing instead. No, but you're doing it all wrong. Care about that. No. Come on now, everybody. We got person's in trouble. No, burn them. Screw it. When the relationships around you are at risk, is it a mess of cynics and optimists giving a mixed bag of advice? How many others have no one? How many others among you have no one to call on in any case, hodgepodge or otherwise? How many then are left to fend for their relationship on their own with no community to speak of? They'd be grateful to have a cynic around, if just to have someone around. How many relationships have you seen crumble as a consequence of either? But this was not the case for much of my work with special operations. Those teams are hand-selected. You have to want to be there. That doesn't happen on accident, okay? Those teams are made up of the right stuff. Those teams have drank the Kool-Aid, true believers all, okay? They are bought in, and they do care about mission accomplishment. Those missions had a much higher success rate. They had fewer mishaps, fewer casualties, and we got a lot more done in a lot less time. Same goes for my marriage. Because we were intentional about the people we surrounded ourselves by, Hot Bride and I, we got to face hurdles of all kinds. The run-of-the-mill relationship day-to-day type stuff, and emergency life-changing type stuff, like, again, her being hospitalized. We got to face all of that with solid community in tow. Solid community. Not hodgepodge community. Not, oh, will they, won't they, this person says do this, and this person says do that. Ah, screw them, what do they know about... We had a really solid crew of people around us who were of one mind, who said of us and our true north, we got you. You're busy taking care of this emergency thing. We got you. We'll pick up the slack over here. We will help you in your moment of need over here. We will arrive and support you in this way over here. Because we won't let you guys get too far off into the weeds. We got you. I know this is scary. We know this is strange. We know you haven't been here before. We know this is unfamiliar ground. But we got you. They said in one voice. Guys, gals, both. We got you. I can't speak for Hot Bride for the day-to-day type stuff, but I have had moments like this with the men in my life as well. With both peer and mentor types. Some roughly my age and some significantly older than my age. When I veered off a little bit, got into the weeds and had some notions about relational type stuff, about this time in particular was about in-laws, one of my mentors reined me in no uncertain terms. He had some very harsh words for me, real words, and said, I'm not letting you off the beam. You're at risk, but I won't let it happen. I will speak into this moment and prevent what I have lived, what I have seen, what I have walked through. I will stop you from committing the same mistakes that I made. It won't happen, not on my watch. I got you. And just so you know, the hodgepodge teams that I belonged to during my time in, we got the job done more often than not. More often than not, okay? Like, listen, Marines, for all of our trouble, for all of the ridiculousness that I just described to you, Marines are pretty competent on the whole. And the fact that we are each trained on being competent individuals goes a long ways, okay? We can make up for a lot of sloppiness and a lot of mess. So more often than not, yeah, mission accomplished, okay? Despite all the mishaps and embarrassments, we were forced to be reckoned with, especially against, well, disorganized and unsophisticated enemy forces. So, I'm not saying that it's impossible to accomplish things without a hand-picked team of rockstar badasses. But it will be significantly more difficult. It will mean fewer successes. It will mean more failures, okay? It will mean less efficacy overall in attempting to live out your life's goals, pursue your true north, your mission. It will mean, also, that any successes you have in pursuit of that true north will be more often than not incidental rather than intentional. But change one thing. What happens if and when your relationship runs up against an enemy that's actually organized? One that's modern and sophisticated. How will your relationship stack up when the stakes are high and the deck is stacked against you? You might be able to avoid a lot of the incidentals. You might be able to avoid a lot of the smaller things. And even if you step into them, a lot of them will not be catastrophic. But what about the big hurdles? What about the big incidentals? What about the big missteps? What about the deep pitfalls? What about the big hurts? The betrayals? I have more to say about that when we get later into our series. We will certainly revisit it. But for now, I want you to understand. Who you have locked in as your fellowship is all important to the success of a relationship. Again, if you're interested in a fling or something else, that's not a relationship. If you're interested in some one night whatever, that's not a relationship. That's not what I'm talking about. If you're interested in something real, something that will last, something that will endure, something that matters, who you have around you is all important. What did I say at tonight's outset? This season is for finding out what your true north is, part 1. And then to do it. How? With help. With a fellowship around you. With whom you will journey. With whom you will work. Alongside whom you will toil. That's what you're supposed to be doing in singleness. You're supposed to be getting after it. You're supposed to be traveling in that direction during singleness. Achieving, working towards life goals and aims. And these are the people who are there to support you in that. And then, if and when you decide, all right, I'm going to move out of the season of singleness, and maybe I'm going to look to put a ring on this one. These are the same battle-tested companions who will fight for that relationship, who will fight to support you, whether it's against outside influences or against you in your weaker moments. These are the ones who, again, know who you are, what you believe, and what you're after, what you pursue. That doesn't change when you put a ring on it. Your mission hasn't changed. What you've decided is worth your life has not changed, as we talked about last week. Some methodology might. Some logistics in the day-to-day might. But your mission has not changed. And if you did miss all of that, if you did miss the lecture on establishing that mission, something that is worthy of you, and then finding someone with whom you can link arms and accomplish that mission, then go back and see the first parts of this series on singleness. This fellowship cannot just be a random hodgepodge. If the relationship is to have the shot that it deserves, the shot that you ostensibly want to give it, if you want to break the cycle of broken relationships that you've seen all around you, or perhaps that you've experienced firsthand. The quality of this fellowship is all important. So again, do they concur with your true north? Do they agree that this is a mission worth pursuing, that it's worthy of your life? Maybe they pursue the same thing, ideally. That way they can tell you all about it. Tell you which roads to take, which to avoid, right? All of that. And then, how? And they guide you while taking those steps. And then again, when you enter that relationship, now they guide both of you. Who do you have in your life that fits that description? Who is capable? That's a competency question. And willing? That's a relationship type question. An ownership, accountability type question. Who is able and willing to step into that role and to course correct when you start to veer off? If you haven't answered that question, you're not done with singleness. And you need to get this squared away. Absolutely ASAP. You can't do life alone. Not well. Not well. I ran longer than I had hoped. I'm glad that I split this one up. More to say on singleness, incidentally. Next week, I want to give you guys a practical checklist. A practical checklist, a numbered checklist that you can hit. Have I done this with my singleness? Have I done this with my singleness? Have I answered this question with my singleness? I want to give you practical, real-world examples of guidelines that you can follow, models that you can look at for having done this well, such that you can compare your life to it and know, not have a feeling and not have a guess, and know whether or not you have maximally leveraged your singleness before we step into the rest of it. Why is singleness so broad? Why have we put so much into this? The foundation. See last week's. See the previous talk on singleness. The taller the structure, the wider its base. I thank you for being here tonight and for your attention. Welcome to all of you new joins that I did not get to greet properly. Faces, some familiar, some unfamiliar. Grateful to have you guys in. I'm grateful for your time and attention to this most serious matter. The world will be saved by your willingness to submit yourself to the tutelage of this difficulty, or it will continue to fail by our unwillingness. So again, it's never lost on me that you could be spending a Friday evening any old where doing any old thing, but you chose to spend that time here. And for that, you have my sincere thanks. It says a great deal about you, and I am humbled to count myself amongst company such as yours. So to you I get to raise my first and now my final glass. Cheers. Next stream is tomorrow morning, gang. Tomorrow morning. Saturday morning. 10 a.m. Pacific time. Just 90-minute, just chatting session where we get to catch up, chit-chat about all manner of things. All of you across the puddle get to hear from you guys when it's not the sleeping hours, and you'll be indeed, hopefully, in the waking ones. I really look forward to catching up with you guys, and if you have any questions about any of this, again, you can attempt to bring them up there, though we don't have a lot of time. And if you would like me to speak to something specifically, please use the questionnaire. Type in !Notion, N-O-T-I-O-N, okay? And it will pull up an anonymous questionnaire, a question submission form thing, okay? It goes just to me. It's not publicly accessible. You can't even access it after you've sent it. You put in a question, it goes to me. There's no identifiers. There's no sign up necessary. There's no nothing, okay? It's just totally anonymous question. I can't see who they came from. I have no idea. Unless you say in it who you are, which I don't encourage, you know. I'm going to try to answer every single question that I can in the course of this series. We've got a growing list of questions, and I very much look forward to giving them my time and attention soon. I will be attempting to do them in course with each of their seasons. If the question pertains to a season of singleness, I will tackle those once we wrap up singleness. If it pertains to dating in particular, I will address those following the season of dating and so on and so forth, okay? Marriage. So submit your questions anonymously there. Submit as many questions as you like, okay? It could be 2, it could be 10. If you got a bunch of questions about this, utilize the resources that are available to you. Take this seriously enough to spend a little bit of time. Put in those questions, and then set an alarm. Next week, check my calendar here. Next week, I have every expectation, barring some sort of emergency, that I will be continuing with this series. 5 p.m. Pacific time. Friday nights for the Gust Talks and the continuation of the Relationships Masterclass, meant to be an exhaustive, or at least comprehensive look at the seasons of relationship that we go to, from singleness to married, and all the mess in between. And to do so in a way that equips you to face all of this stuff intelligently, wisely, and well, for your benefit and for whomever your prospects are. And I hope and will endeavor to steward well the time that you entrust to me in so doing. I take this quite seriously, gang, because I take you quite seriously. I strive to create content that matters because you do. Meaningful content because you're meaningful. Your experiences, your life, that's meaningful. Content of value because you have value. Because you have value. Whether or not you in your worst moments doubt that, you do. So, hope to succeed in creating something worthy of that. No raid out here tonight, you guys. No raid out for the seriousness. I hope you guys will watch the videos, shorts, long form, short form that have been uploaded to Rumble, to YouTube. All ways to support this project. Follow on Rumble, follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, join the Mafia Community Discord, links in the usual places, and supplied over in chat. You could do far worse than getting plugged into this business. There's much more to come, gang. Much more to come. So what will it look like? What will it look like in the days ahead? In the weeks ahead of us? What will we get up to? What manner of ridiculousness? What manner of ridiculousness will that guy with the tie go on and on about in the streams yet ahead of us in the rest of this series? Oh, come and see. Come and see. And as ever, I will strive to see that it's a decision that you don't regret. In the meantime, I wish for you each marvelous evenings, mornings, wherever ye be, and I will see you on the other side.